chopping it up with you.
Chapis. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I see.
so it goes chopping it up with who? Chopping it up with you. Chopping it up with me. Chopping it up on 3, 2, 1. Cameras on
that.
you. This is DStreet, everybody.
I love that intro. That's dope.
Thank you. My sister actually helped me. She actually helped me think of it because I had a little...
So smooth.
I was watching TV, actually.
Yeah.
And my son wants to get his own podcast. And he was like... so we were kind of talking about it, but we were watching our movie. And I go, Mikolai. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I think I just thought about my intro. And he goes, what is it? So I told him. And he's like, that sounds good, Mom. When did you think about that? I'm like, right now? He's like, oh, okay.
The grind never stops.
And then that's when my sister like helped me tweak it a little bit to sound a little bit better. So the bars are actually from her tweaking it because before
She's got
it
bars.
wasn't as
Yeah.
smooth. I don't know. I guess so. I guess
Can she
so.
rap too?
No, not really. She doesn't, but she's always been the music one in our
okay.
like family. Like I didn't have my own preference of music until like 4 years ago.
Okay.
No joke.
Interesting. What was the change for that?
I got my own Spotify. Before I was using my husband's Spotify.
Oh, okay. See, I was using Pandora when I was in high school. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but man, it just used to
Yes.
play the same songs over and over. But that is how I learned about Mac Miller. So
Oh, shit.
I got to be very thankful to Pandora for that because that's one of my favorite artists.
That's what's up. I'm just gonna tweak your mic a little
no
bit.
problem.
Just like
Move it somewhere else.
move it. Yeah, perfect.
Like that.
Just like that. Great. See, guys, we still on here and we still getting it. That's why I say chopping it up with me and my channels get motivated with me because we're doing this together. We're growing together. So that's why. But so I have a few questions for you. Let's just start it off.
All right.
So introduce yourself
Okay.
and yeah, tell us anything you want to share about yourself. And shoot, I mean, there was a really big event that just happened, and you might have gotten an award for it. So
Yeah,
let's talk
fair
about
enough.
it.
Okay. So my hip hop name is DStreet MC. I've been making music in the Iowa City area for probably about the last 12 years, and I'd say seriously for probably about the last 2 years, truthfully. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was never a time I stopped writing, but there was times where I stopped releasing music, even for like a year or sometimes 2 years, and just to get my head right. Really go through some situations because I felt like I wasn't really talking about things, and kind of just venting.
Full screen overlays on.
Shouts out, Lim.
This whole time. Okay. My bad, guys. Here's a surprise, and here is DStreet.
Hey.
The app updated, so I'm relearning things, even though I was still learning. So let's get it.
So now it's
Yes, now it's
smooth
good. Keep
Okay.
going.
Yeah, so DStreet MC, I've been making music in the Iowa City area for the last 12 years. I think the first song that really made me want to start making music was Burn by Meek Mill and Big Sean. I don't know Big Sean, I mean, I just hear him rap and I'd be like, wow, I want to do that. And then I just remember me and my homie were texting each other, back and forth, and we'd always just send like 7-page raps because that was the max you could send with 7 pages, right?
Oh,
And then we just
damn.
send them back and forth over text until one day he texted me. He's like, yo, that's actually kind of good.
Dang.
And I don't know why, but that really motivated me to just keep going with it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
so-
someone finally telling you that, like what
hey,
you hear.
you're actually doing something right. Yeah. Oh, and so going back to that, I've been making music for a decent amount of time, but recently I did win an award at the Iowa Music Awards for Album of the Year.
Let's go.
It was hard to process at the moment when it happened. It's just like, wow, people see my music the same way I see my music.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling.
You're fire, bro.
Yeah.
Don't be that humble. No, I'm just kidding. Be humble, but you're fire. No, for real. The first time I heard your music, I can't even remember when it was, but I remember like seeing you floating around, but I've never seen you in person.
Right.
So I was like, who is this guy? So I looked up, because that's what I do. I be like investigating people because I'm like, I'm gonna meet them one day, and I want to be able
I
to
want to know
like,
what's up about them before I really have that first impression kind of in person.
And I want to give you that feedback about like, oh my gosh, I heard this on da 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 da, you know, so that way you can also feel special.
Yeah, it makes it a little more personal.
Yeah, and so like I heard you, and I was like, this dude sounds like he should be on like the radio, billboard, something.
That's crazy.
Like the quality of your music. Shout out to Lim.
Shout out to Lim, for real. My God.
The Soundbox Studio.
That was such a shift when I came to the studio for the first time. The funny thing about me getting to the studio for the first time was there was a kid that worked at my job for one day only, and he was in the back with me, and we were in the kitchen, and he's talking. He's like, yo, I know you make music. I've seen your stuff on Instagram.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, for real? He's like, if you're ever trying to get serious with music, man, you need to go to the Soundbox Studios. And I took it as, you know, like, I took it as a sign. And that day while we were working together, I went on the Soundbox Studio and I scheduled a 3-hour session with Lim. And yeah.
That's so dope. Oh, my God. I
haven't had to switch since, so I can't complain, really.
True. So how did you start recording your music?
Okay. You know, honestly, for a long time, it was a lot of like freestyles in the room with my homies. We actually had like a rap group back in the day called GBT, but
shout out to that.
Yeah,
you know, you always got
GBT. There was a lot of us at one point, like 6 or 7 of us, but yeah. What was the question again? Sorry, I got lost.
That's fine. You started remembering, huh?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Oh,
good
yeah. How the
times.
music started. Yeah. So we'd be freestyling in our room pretty much, and we just go back and forth. And then one day I decided I wanted to record at an actual studio, so I figured out the studio in town that everyone else was going to. And shout out the Cubist, shout out Show. That man put us on there.
Hey.
And then there was a promoter in there that kind of worked with the studio a little bit, and he saw us rapping in there, and he said, I can get you guys a show. And to me, like at the time, I was 18. It was like, you know, that fluttery feeling, like, holy, I can do this. Like, this is cool. I could actually get a show. And then I told my homie about it, who was also part of GVT, and then that was kind of when we solidified the group. Got everyone together, and yeah, we had a show, and we opened up for this guy named On Q. Yeah, and we brought like 77 people, and then right after we were done performing, we left with everybody. It was kind of like, you know, looking back on it, I would never do it again, right? But as a beginning artist, it was kind of a cool feeling to know that everyone that was in that building was for you guys. You know, yeah, he had like, once they all left, because we all went and, you know, threw a party for our first performance, but once we all left, there was maybe like 5 to 6 people left in that place. So it was like, wow. So the promoters do a lot for the scene. Let me tell you, like they get a group to sell 20 tickets. You know, they get a free performance, right? Yeah, no, that comes in clutch.
That's so true. And I think it's so dope when promoters can do that, when they can give you like a way to make your money back type of thing. So you're in control. It's either like especially when you're starting off. Yeah, when you're starting off, it's like it's so important to be able to get those opportunities, but then not dig in your pocket like that. Look, you're starting off. You don't want to buy all the craziest stuff. Like, I was just talking to a friend about this the other day. Like, you wouldn't be ready for it if it was just when you first started. You know, a lot of the times it takes that building and growing to what you are now to finally realize like what you have. And so like buying all that super dope equipment right away and the crazy studio might not always be the best move off the bat. Like, that's true. So from what I've seen is like sometimes people do that a lot. Like, actually, I've been going through my Marketplace, and Marketplace has a lot of like mics for sale, and I'm like, it's probably that where people, which is it's so good to have that fire. But I feel like it's for when people have that fire and then they buy everything, like what you're saying, and then realize like, oh, it's not really for me, but I already spent like thousands of dollars on equipment. And sometimes the stuff doesn't ever get bought.
Right. Like, I remember a time I wanted to learn how to play piano, so I bought this keyboard, right? I didn't realize this keyboard needed plugged into an actual program to work. And so I do all that because I was still motivated to, you know, start learning. And then we plug it into we plugged it in, right? And then we start playing the notes, and there was a slight delay, and there's no way to fix that. That's just the processing from the keyboard to that. And it just bugged me from that day, and I set it down after that. So I've used that keyboard one time, and it's sitting in the
Oh man, see, so he knows what he's talking about. He's like, you know what? Maybe just go to a studio.
Yeah,
like
maybe just learn an actual piano, get piano lessons where they have the piano, and just do it that way.
That too. That's true. Let's see. Do you remember the first time we met? I have that as a question because most of the people I'll have on here, we've met before, like the actual like podcast.
Before the podcast. Yeah. I can't say I remember the exact first time that we met. I just remember it always being a pleasant experience.
Aww.
Like there's never been like shade between the two of us. You know,
That's
like it's
so
never been like
true.
that. Like I just see her, I'm like, she's doing stuff, but I don't know her yet. But then you came up to me, and then you were like, oh, I know this, and here's this song of yours, and I was like, wow, that feels good.
See, I did it. I accomplished.
Right.
I feel like it was here, right?
I think it had to have been.
And I think I did the interview. Like the first interview that we did together was the first time.
Oh my God, you're so right. Yeah, for the
Summer Jam.
Summer
Iowa
Jam. That's what it was called. I was about to say IMAs again. Yeah, Summer Jam. I remember I was wearing the Summer Jam shirt from the year prior.
Yeah, and it was perfect. Yes.
Oh, yeah, wild timing. I didn't even know you were going to be here, but
I know.
Yeah.
I probably didn't even know I was going to be here.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'd just be popping in randomly. So what's your style of music? Is it the same as what you sing, or is it different?
My style of music, like what I listen to?
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly listen to a lot of hip hop. I think my YouTube music came back and it said 78% of my music is hip hop.
Oh, okay. The new, like, where you could look at
yes, yeah.
the recaps, right?
Yes. So it sent 78% back was hip hop, and then there was like 6% soul music and R&B and jazz. So I listen to a lot of that kind of just evokes emotion.
Them good
kind of
feely,
stuff. The good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. According to YouTube Music, it's all sad and dramatic.
I was gonna say,
I'm like, okay.
Actually, good music. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like good music is always like sad music.
Yeah.
Because you don't even need to be sad when you hear it.
Right.
But you'll feel it.
It's interesting because I have a lot of friends come up to me and say, hey, I listen to your music and it's so happy. And I'm like, that's interesting because like it's super sad to me, but like in the happiest way. Like it's like looking at the best of a situation rather than dwelling on the shit that happened to you.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so true.
Yeah.
Like you can see the other side of it when you're not sad.
Yeah.
But then also
It's like take a lesson from it or you just dealt with bullshit the whole time.
yeah, like it's
What fun is that?
eye-opening.
Yeah.
Like freaking Sam Smith told me the whole time. and that was it.
That reminds me of a question someone wanted me to ask so they could hear it. And that was, why do you make the music that you make as compared to something else? And I think it's really because that evokes emotion from me and it helps me. It's honestly like therapy. It helps me get over things.
Yeah.
Like, for real. I talk about it. I'm just like, wow. I can be vulnerable in a way that feels strong to me and that I can be proud of. I can re-listen to it and I'm not like PTSD flashing back. Like it's like
For real. That's how I think about karaoke. Like I'll go and sing my lungs out. Even actually that's what's gotten me more confident now in singing. But it's like on a spiritual level. Sound is frequencies, right?
it is.
So when you sing, you're literally creating those frequencies to heal you.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you and like other artists you're literally making the words to heal not only you but whoever's gonna hear it.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that lyricism is so important in hip hop. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, I love all kinds of hip hop. Like I'm banging it in the car on the way to my day job, some gangster shit, you know. And it's like in no way do I relate to any of it, but it sounds good, you know. And that feeling that you get, it's like, wow, it makes you want to make music. Like, wow, it really went to the beat. Like, yeah.
Ooh, okay, okay. I see where you're saying. Because that's true. Because me being soft, I mean, I can still listen to gangster stuff, but will I ever do that? No.
Right. I sit there like, I don't relate at all, but I like it.
You're like,
But
keep
I like
playing
it.
that because I like the way they hit the beat.
Yeah, for real. I like
Hey.
those gun sounds too. Swear to God.
It's the ones that when we're kids, we're like, pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, for real. That's the part you remember.
No, for real. Okay, so another question I had. So are your friends your friends if they don't support you?
That's a question I kind of had recently as well. I've heard multiple sides to this, and I think after getting a little bit of feedback from some of the people I talked to, I think there's multiple ways to support your friends. That doesn't have to be in a music aspect, such as leaning into someone for moral support.
Yes.
You know, they could be there for you, but maybe they just don't like hip hop music. Maybe it doesn't vibe with them, and that's just something they don't like. But there's different ways that they show you that they're your friend. They hear the things that you say, and they bring them up later and ask, "Hey, has this worked out for you? Are you still struggling? Do you need help?"
I think that's such a good answer.
Because it's not the way that I looked at it at first. Because you know, if you just break it down, like, hey, they support you, don't support you. It's like you're true. There's a lot of my friends that won't repost my music, and it could be for multitude of reasons. But like, I try not to like overthink that kind of thing because it's like, well, these people do support me in so many different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
In the way that they're able to. See, that's something I learned too, as well as I started YouTube like years and years ago. I think it's going on to like 11 years. And it's like, I used to get upset all the time too.
Right.
For people not resharing. It's like, but wouldn't you be excited because you know me?
Right.
Wouldn't you want to show me off? But then actually the Zefster, shout out to you. I'm actually having him on the podcast next
Zefster,
week
shout
or
out.
2 weeks. Coming soon. Near you. No. So he actually told me one time about like, you can't really ask something of someone that they can't give themselves if they're not in that mentality already. So then it goes to support. It's like they view support differently than how we're viewing it, because this is what we are envisioning right now, but they have their mind somewhere else. And like you said, they might be able to support in other ways to help you on the stuff that you might need in order to keep your vision going,
Yes. Or definitely have some of those conversations that some of your music friends can't have. Because like I have a lot of music friends that we do a lot of music with, but outside of music, I can't say there's too many conversations that we have sometimes. You know what I mean? Like there's some people I would love to have in the booth with me, but probably don't hang out with. Or don't hang out with, really. So, yeah. I'm a homebody. I stay home a lot. I'm either in the studio or at my house.
Or at home.
Yeah, like...
I think that's such a good balance, because that's the same with me. Anytime you guys see me out, that's the only time you will see me out. Other than that, I'm at home with my kids, cuddling up, watching movies.
Right.
Yes. And I'm like, I'm working while I'm at home too, which is nice. That's why I like to do content, because I can be on my phone and still be able to put it down, play with my kids. And then when they're chilling, I'm chilling on my phone. You know, we got our times that we can maneuver. But I forgot where I was going here. But yeah, keep on your grind, and everybody supports differently. Oh, that was my question. What is support?
What is support? That's an interesting question. Like breaking that down.
Yeah.
Anything that pushes you forward or towards a goal, I'd say, is support. And I mean, some people kind of look at that like selfishly, like if you're not doing it this way, you're not supporting. And if that's how you look at it, then well, maybe those people just aren't the people to support you then. You know what I mean? If you can't take someone's advice, then what is that doing for you? You know what I mean? Hearing it from it's just like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, okay, then why'd you ask for my advice? You know, like, I think it's very important to surround yourself around those people that you can take their advice and you can, they're adding something to your life.
True. Like that criticism, you need to have balance of the people who are going to give you bad and good criticism. Because if your people are only giving you positive things, maybe they are not being upfront with you.
I agree with that. I used to struggle with that in the past too, because I'd be like, a lot of like failed past relationships or something like that. It just felt like people were walking on eggshells with me. But then I was like, well, I keep blaming everyone but myself. Like, what part of me is allowing people or is making people feel like they have to walk on eggshells with me? You know, so that was part. I guess I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
No, that's deep actually, because I feel like that goes back to being responsible for your own actions, whether you're the one that did something wrong or you're allowing it.
How do you make that not happen again is the mindset you kind of need to put yourself in. Yeah.
Because in the end, we can only control ourselves.
Yeah,
we can only control our reactions. We can't control how other people react or if people are triggered.
That's 100%. Yeah.
we don't know what's going to trigger them. But at the end of the day, we have to be accountable for ourselves and how we react. And sometimes, shoot, we're just going to react.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Even just your mood for the day. But yeah, it's so true.
You're like, what was I going to say? No, but see, going back to like what is support, I feel like that's why some people might take offense so much when they say or they
want to
think
see it a certain way.
they want to see it a certain way, or they expect it to be a certain way, but they're not realizing like, hey, I'm your mom. I can't make your shows. Let's just say, right? I can't make your shows or always watch your shows.
Do you think that breaks down as like a misunderstanding of what support is? Or do you think that's just like people just like selfishly want you to do it their way?
I think it's more the misunderstanding more than like people wanting to do it a certain way, because I feel like nobody really has a guideline to how people should support you, to how you're supposed to feel when you're not being supported the way that you expected, because we all want to be stars, right? At the end of the day. Right. Maybe not with the backlash that it comes with.
But maybe like the money that it comes with and the positive things that it can do for your future and those around you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree.
And so
having a platform is very, very important in today's age, especially with all these cameras we have and social media.
For real, with like content and everything. Like even back in the day when they didn't have there was like cameras, but not like,
and like
they
radio
were like
hosts, stuff like that, right?
This big, but like there was a platform which was like going on tour. That was their platform.
Yeah.
But now, luckily, you don't have to do that. So you have to think about getting your content in order and stuff. So then you could go on tour. Mm-hmm. You know, there's just other steps instead of flyers, but you could still put flyers.
Yeah, these are all like ways of putting yourself out there now. Mm-hmm. So that's always nice.
So that's another way of like support, I guess. The way I see it is like exactly what you said. So now I guess, sure, you guys could look at this podcast and be like, dang, I never thought about it like that. Like, people can support you in different ways, either if they could do it monetarily or in spirit, or some people can make it to your shows, or some people could freaking feed you so you're healthy to make it to your shows. And
support, literally comes in so many forms. Like when you say support, you're probably thinking like one thing at that particular moment, right? Like support. Oh, you need some money. You're probably thinking financial support, or if you're feeling down, you're probably thinking emotional support. But if you're an artist, you're probably thinking like, "Yo, repost my shit, bro." Like
that's what I was gonna ask.
I think it really depends where your mind space is,
right?
Your head space is,
So, as an artist, when you first started, what would you say was your interpretation of support? Of like getting support, or if people weren't supporting?
Before I was like recording music, really it was just people telling me my freestyles were dope. Like when I'd hear that, I'd be like, yeah, I did that shit, you know. But my music back then so different than it is now. But I mean, it was still lyrical, but it was a lot more like angry.
Oh,
yeah, it was just very angry.
Were you a teenager?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And I came from a Mormon household, right? So like my first 18, 17 years probably of life were very restricted. I couldn't go out on Sundays.
Oh
right?
my! Yeah. Oh yeah.
10% of my income was, taken for the church. Like, and it's just
it
teaches you different things, right? And so like when I was 18, this is what I'm looping back to. When I was 18, it felt like I was a fresh new kid.
Yeah.
But with all the freedoms of being an adult, so I just started diving into shit. You know what I mean?
That's wild.
Yeah.
We kind of grew up the same, but mine wasn't because my mom. It was because like I started going to church, but it wasn't Mormon. It was a Baptist church, but they're very similar, but in different ways. So I realized like all Christianity like almost all religions have a lot of similarities.
Oh, most def.
And like, especially Christian, they just tweak like a little bit here and there.
Yeah, for real.
And then
this is the leader. That's the only difference. Okay.
And they make us all go against each other. Like, nah.
Baptized for 8 seconds, not 3. Yeah. Yeah, right. Full body, not just your arm. Yeah.
For real. And then it's like some only get a little sprinkle on their head. It's like,
right. Yeah.
Which is also why I'm not religious anymore. Because I'm like, how about I'm just spiritual? Because I want to include all and everything.
And that's, I wouldn't say I'm a religious person anymore, but I would definitely say I'm a spiritual person. I believe in a higher power.
Yeah.
I don't know if that higher power is within us or if it's this energy that we have that we can resonate with sometimes when we align ourselves with it.
Ooh, yes.
But I don't think it has any like man-made form.
Yeah.
But you know, these are all just I don't think, like, I really don't know. But that was the whole thing when I was 11. I remember asking my dad, like, how do you know this is the true religion? Because the person, you know, the Arab guy down the street is preaching to his kids that this is 100% the true religion, and you know, and there's no doubt in his head. So it's like,
exactly why.
And I guess like the short story is like he didn't know, like he doesn't. He obviously has 100% faith and like believes in it and says he knows, but do you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's not something you could really know, even now, just being spiritual.
And that's the breakdown of it. It's not something you will ever like physically see with your own eyes in this lifetime, but I think faith is extremely important as well. I think even if there are things that might not be true,
right,
they can still have good morals and still push you in the right direction. So having those in your life can be beneficial.
Right. And like whatever you believe. And then like, because there's a lot of people even in like the music industry that everybody believes different. But I love how we just all come together with music.
Yeah, it's just a collective. Yeah.
And it's so
pretty
dope.
cool.
And it's like we all know what we do believe in is music.
Yes. Yeah, we do know that this pushes us in the right direction.
Yeah,
it makes
for real.
us feel good.
And going back to like music is healing. But then, okay, so I actually go to school and it's called Maharishi University and it's located in Fairfield, but I do it online. And I kind of took like a year off, but I'm going in for Ayurvedic wellness, which is also like a doctor, but it's holistic.
Yes.
So
Okay.
everything all,
Yep.
you know,
Natural. Yep.
so like the school teaches literally about consciousness and everything that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But they've studied the brain.
Oh, they've done the psychology
With
behind it, right?
So there's facts.
Okay.
There's actually something you could see.
That
and
is
it's
pretty cool.
And they even talk about like, call it whatever you want.
Call
it whatever you want.
Right.
But it's there.
But it's there. There's an energy that is there.
There's an
Yeah,
energy
most
that's
definitely.
there. And what we call it at school is just the higher self.
Yep.
Because whatever you want to call it, it's the higher self.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of you. Because even if you go to like Bible terms and everything, we're made in the image
Yes.
of God. See, I know a little
I
bit.
see what you're saying, right?
And, you know, just like that, it's like every religion also has that truth. Because if, this is how I think about it. If the collective believes all the same thing, then that's when it's more true because you feel it within. And it, especially like in cultures, a lot of indigenous cultures practice a lot of the same stuff. How? If they're from all over the world.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know? And that's why I broke
see
it
what you're
down
saying.
to like
Okay.
being spiritual instead of religious. Because
Yeah,
for me,
getting the moral behind it,
Yeah.
rather than getting caught up in all the stuff
order.
that comes with it, right?
Yeah.
The order of it, yeah. And see, that's something I don't like is the order of it.
Right.
I like.
I wanna be
That's probably
free.
partially from childhood, but
Yep.
it's like I like to be in control. I don't like someone telling me what to do.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I have a head on my shoulders that I can ultimately decide for myself what's right and wrong based on how I feel. And
Right.
very rarely wrong on my intuition, like
Right. No, for real. Because it's like, I mean, I know when
I
I'm
know
wrong.
when I'm doing something wrong and I know when I'm doing something inherently right. It feels good
Yeah.
or it feels bad. But then I go to this question that's like, does that feel the same for everyone, or is that kind of based upon the things that you've gone
True.
through in life?
True.
So that's a struggle.
Because, I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer thought it felt good too.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what part of you feels good? Right.
I don't know. I guess that's why we have therapists.
Yeah, no joke.
That's why we have mental health, so we can we can help figure it out.
That's so true.
Oh my goodness. But man, for real, like going back to like music too, it feels good, but it doesn't mean necessarily that we align with it, which is another thing too. It's like, it's something that you align with. Shoot, that's why all murderers go to prison, because they all align. No, I'm just kidding. They don't choose it.
Yeah, very rarely do that. Yeah, take me in.
So how was, if you're open to talk about it, how
Okay.
was actually growing up Mormon and like strict religious? Because I know Mormons were kind of the same with us in that way, is like, well, I don't know if they like force the girls to only wear skirts, but like in our church there is like it's a choice, but if you don't do it, they're like guilting you to do it anyways. So like me, I was always in long skirts.
You know, I think growing up Mormon kind of just like gave me this kind of like, I'm not gonna say veil, but like an understanding that like whatever your parents said was right.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I never questioned. I mean, they would ground me when I was 14. I would still take the grounding and be in my room all day. You know what I mean? Like I would.
That's so
I just
rough.
believed that what they said was right. But then when I started questioning it for myself and being like, this is right for them. Like this is what they need to work out because this is what they believe. But do I believe this?
Right.
Another part of childhood that was weird was like Sundays I couldn't go outside. I mean,
at all?
So
or you mean like outside?
He was like nice enough. My parents were nice enough that they like let us go in the backyard and sometimes play in the front yard if we were being low key enough, right? But for the most part, no, you couldn't go out on Sundays. Yeah, so that's like 14% of my life, up to the age of 17 that I didn't. So Saturdays, like when you go, have sleepovers with your friends, right? I couldn't do none of those.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had to go to church at 9 o'clock in the morning till 12 on Sundays. So
12 noon.
Yeah, so like 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God, I can't stand church, but that's just, that's just me, But that's just because.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I think the more strict the church is, the more probable that people or kids are going to turn away when they get older.
Yeah, I've heard strict parents create sneaky kids.
Yeah.
That's not wrong.
And see, my mom never had me going to church. Like my mom says that in Spanish you say don for a gift. So she's like, you have this don, and in Spanish you say it like tienes un don. You have a don. You have a gift. Okay. And I would just look at her like, what are you talking about? Because I was already like wrapped up in this morality that it's bad to have gifts because only like people above me can have gifts, whatever the hell that means, but like it didn't make sense, but I still was like, no, that's wrong. I can't think like this, even though I already knew that I thought differently than other people.
Right.
Yeah, but I kept myself in that.
And so I think growing up Mormon, I believed for my parents for a little bit. I even remember like one time I was at this church camp during the summer. And we had to all give our testimonies. One of the leaders had basically said, "Oh, we'll buy you a dozen donuts if you give your testimony." So yeah, I go up there and like,
yes,
like
we would get bribed too. That's crazy.
And like I seeing all these other kids give their testimony is like, I'm gonna go say something important, right? I get up there and it's like I say all this stuff and it's moving everyone to tears, right? And then I remember getting off the stage and walking back to my place and saying, "I don't believe any of that." Literally just being like, I don't believe any of that. But then it just made me realize the power of words. It was like, it's like, holy shit, you really could just say something and move people. Like it was insane. Like I didn't believe a single word of what I had said on there.
That's so crazy. And you're the one that said it.
Yeah, I just remember walking back and I still feel that feeling. Like when I think about it, like it's just like why'd I say that? Like
it just came out.
Yeah.
That's how
but it was
I
so
feel.
Powerful,
Right. Do you ever feel like that when you write?
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's times I'll literally be sitting in my room and I'll write something and I'll just start laughing.
Wow.
Like I'll just be like, holy shit.
That was lit.
I can't wait till Jay Lim can translate what this is going to be in a more better sounding way for the listener. Because the relationship between an engineer and the artist is so cool too, because without an engineer, the artist is just not going to be heard.
For real. Shout out, man. Again.
For real. Shout out them.
For real.
But when I'd be writing, I would get that feeling. Like I cry over some of my songs. Like there's, and that right there is a very telltale sign that like I'm on the right path.
No,
if I'm being
real.
vulnerable enough that like I'm digging into things that are hard to talk about until they're not hard to talk about.
Yes,
because obviously the first few times I write it, I'm like choking up, but then after that, you kind of it just becomes like
more of a flow.
Yeah, more of a flow.
So
you're able to push past that like super emotion and yeah.
So how does it feel when you're performing those emotional songs? Do you choke up still, or it just really depends?
I don't think I allow myself to choke up. I think I'm able to put up like this mental wall sometimes. Because I remember when I wrote "Sorry, I missed your call," which had my friend had left a voicemail for me that was like 3 minutes, and I saw it like 2 months later, right?
Wow.
And when I saw it, it was him calling me out on all my bullshit because we had hung out. I was telling him, like, I don't know if I want to make music anymore. Like, I don't know if this is really something I really want to take serious, you know? And, like, he just sat there and listened, you know, just, like, soaked it all in and didn't, like, come at me or make me feel any kind of way. But then, you know, tried to call me, and I didn't answer. And then so he left that voicemail. When I picked it up, like, I was in tears. I was like, holy shit, someone just called me out on my, like, everything. Like, he's like, I don't believe any of that. So, like, if you listen to that, that's none of that's, like, edited from, like, making them come into the studio and doing that. That was all left on a voicemail and, like, chopped and put in through the whole thing. So it's
real.
It's cool to see that someone else actually cares about you. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of, like, pushed me past that. Like, oh, I'm not doing this seriously. Because after that conversation, it was like, yes, the fuck you are. You're just trying to get someone else to agree to you being a bitch, you know, to you being this baby, to you being this scared to follow what's made for you. Like,
he gave you that hard love
he
that
gave
you
me
needed.
Yeah. He broke it down for me, and what was the biggest thing is getting that communication from somebody that I could actually take that from, because it had come from other people, you know, and it just doesn't mean something. Instead of just the same,
not just anyone, because sometimes when it's just random people, you're like, what the hell, who are you?
And I've always said, like, you can learn a lesson from someone that you don't want to learn a lesson from, but it's very hard to.
Right.
I will say, but if you really can, that's a beautiful thing to have, is be like, well, this might not be the person I want to hear this from, but holy shit, are they right? You know?
So it also depends, like, knowing that person and their intentions behind it, because sometimes people could just be mean.
100%, yeah. And so that was the whole thing. Is like, I knew for a fact when he's saying it, it's genuinely out of the kindness of his heart. Genuinely, like, I care for you, and you better not go back on your dreams. You know,
don't. Oh, like, my gosh,
don't do that.
I've been feeling that lately too, because I'm like, man, content can be so rough, you know, and we all kind of have to deal with that, not just content creators, but then again, artists have to be their own content creator, you know,
for real. Yeah.
If you want to evolve. I mean, you don't really have to, but like, if you want to succeed. But man, it could just be so rough. And I really be thinking, because I'm soft, bro, like,
I'd say I'm pretty soft too.
I'm delicate, like, and I just be thinking, like, can I
bite,
take it?
You know what I mean? But that's more so if I feel offended, and it's like,
True.
I'm very laid back, like.
I mean, listen to his music, guys. You guys can hear it.
DStreet MC, all social media platforms.
Yes, for real.
You can go to DStreetMC.com and find it. But.
For real, for real. Thank you for sharing that. But so another thing I forgot to add at the beginning is disclaimer. Everything that's said on here is merely by experience. Listen, or what is it called? Follow on your own discretion. There you go.
Yes.
But man, I think that's so crazy. But going back to like faith and stuff, so I think even just like having certain morals just helps us in life, either to be better people or to just like believe in yourself, not just in something, because something literally lies within you, and it's just believing in yourself and whatever you want. And some people don't. Some people, honestly, like, not even to be disrespectful, but some people are NPCs. And it's okay.
Ain't that right?
And it's okay. Like, I've noticed that, and there has to be all types of people in the world to balance it. There's going to be people who chase their dreams, and there's going to be people who don't. But some people don't have dreams, which is crazy, but it's true. And we can't think about that because we're people with dreams, and we're people with, well, I guess certain dreams, because their dreams might not be the same as ours.
Right.
And that's where it's different. And we can never judge somebody because their dream seems less than something else, but that's their dream. Like, they want to be a manager in a big company. Right. Yeah. That's okay.
Whereas to me, that would just burn me out. I remember being assistant manager at this coffee shop literally last year. And I was like 3 weeks before I told him, dude, I'm not going to do 50 hours here. I don't want to do this. Like, I want to do my music seriously.
Yeah.
And you know, they all kind of just like chuckled at me like,
say.
"Oh, you do music?" It's like, yeah, I don't brag about doing music 24/7. That doesn't mean I'm not serious about my art. But yeah, I want to take it seriously. And you know, if any of them are watching, I took it seriously, and I am taking it seriously now. So that's a good feeling.
I love that. And see, a lot of people think of that too. Is like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom. But they're like, that's it. And I was like, well, technically, I'm like a content creator. And they're like, but what is that? And I'm just like, do you see how much money people make? I'm not there yet. I make some money.
Right. You got to build.
Sure, let me balance my life, okay? You go work in a factory if you want. You go do whatever you want. Or who knows, maybe that's not what you want. But you...
And we all have our own struggles based on the lives that we choose. And ours is to have this creative freedom and to live this life that feels genuine to us and pushes us forward.
Right.
Yeah, we might struggle with making money at first. And it comes with a lot more faith and belief in yourself.
Yeah.
That a lot of people might not be able to have because they can't take those risks.
Right. For real. Dropping gems right now. Listen to his music. He drops more. But so what actually brought you to music?
I just like the sound of hip hop, to be honest. I actually remember a memory back when I was listening to a song in my mom's car and an artist had, you know, chosen certain notes. And even as a kid, I sat there like, oh, I would have gone this way with it.
Ooh.
And so it's like, I feel like even as a young kid, I have had that creative kind of direction. Like, this is what I want to do with music. And I'm just like really creative when it comes to, you know, that's the kind of thing I want to do.
Yeah, like you don't know, but you just knew.
Yeah.
Like you don't know
I
why.
just knew. Like I would pick up guitars or, you know, like I always wanted to play drums. I never did just because it was too much learning. And
Well, he's telling you guys to go get piano lessons.
Swear. Yeah. And like I always like being around instruments and I always listen to music. And then it was just like hearing other people rap. I was like, I could do that.
Ooh, that's
I want to try that myself, and then, you know, freestyle with the same homie, sending those texts to the same homie that called me out. Like that's been the same friend throughout our entire journey, sending him the text. So we text each other raps, and now he's making music in Chicago too. So that's pretty cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yay for him.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, I love that, and I love especially that he was the one that told you. So to me, it's like the underlining meaning was like, let's do this, bro.
Yeah,
let's do this,
yo,
and keep
take your shit seriously. Like
apoyando, supporting. That's what it is in Spanish. Apoyando. And it's like that's just so freaking crazy because my cousin actually says that too. So one of my cousins, he used to be on. I used to use a piece of his song on my intro for my videos, but then now I changed it because Tone. Shout out to Tone. Where's his button? Hold on.
Pause.
That's his
pause.
Shout out to Tone. He did my intro and it was literally made for me, which is so freaking dope. And so my cousin, going back to my cousin, he says the same thing because I'm like, how did you know you could rap? He's like, I just knew. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I just heard people and I was like, I could do better than that. I was like,
yeah, right.
I know I can't. Okay. I've tried and it's no.
Yeah, that is such a weird feeling to have at first. And then also knowing that you feel a certain type of way, but not being able to translate it.
Yeah.
Because you're sitting there struggling. Like, I know I can do better than this. I remember writing to the Survival Tactics instrumental when I was 18. And I did the same exact rhyme scheme through the entire song. Like, if it ended in, like, the A sound, everything ended in the A sound throughout the entire 3 minutes. It was like... So I've progressed so much since then. Like,
see, that'd be me.
Yeah, like, but you'd sit there, and I just remember struggling and being so irritated while I was writing this because I'm like, I want to be able to transition this. I just don't understand how yet.
So, what advice would you give someone who is in that place, like feeling exactly how you're feeling right now and doesn't know what step to take?
Okay, I used to read this, or I've read this book called Atomic Habits, and they talk about breaking, you know, a task down into multiple descriptions of it, right? So like hip hop, you'd break it down like, oh, here's the verses, here's a hook, here's you got to be good at the flow, your connotation, stuff like that. So you want to choose one of those things to focus on and get it as good as you can, and then move on to the next thing, right? It's like a scientific experiment. Well, while you have just one thing that's not controlled, and that's how you figure out if that's the thing that's going wrong or if that's the thing that's pushing something forward, right? And so it's like, just working on one thing at a time and not getting too irritated about the process, because god damn, it's annoying sometimes.
That's so freaking true. You said it, bro. Like the process, I say this in like my motivational speakings. The process is going to suck, but keep doing it because the light at the end of the tunnel is bright.
Part of the reason that the process might feel like it sucks to us is because we see ourselves somewhere else and we want to be there so bad. And so it's like when you're not there, even as an artist, when I'm making something that I don't fully like, it's not exactly where I want it, I'm irritated.
Yeah.
Or I could be embracing it, but like it kind of irritates me.
Yeah. Or like when life happens out of nowhere and it wasn't a part of our plan and you're like, no, this is not what's supposed to be happening right now.
Right.
This is how it's supposed to go. It's a part of the process because there's things we have to learn in order to get stronger.
You keep going through the same lesson until you learn that lesson from it. So you might see it 20 different ways, and until you actually decide to take that lesson from it, you're going to keep going through those same scenarios.
That's the part that sucks.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks, because a lot of times you don't even want to accept that that's what you need to learn from it. Ooh. A lot of times you're like, man, no, this is what I got to learn. No, just sit back.
It's going to happen again.
Pay attention. Keep talking. Yeah. Keep lying to yourself. Swear to God. Gosh.
No, man, for real. That's so freaking true. Because it's like, sometimes do you ever wonder why life be bad?
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's me. It's me.
Right? Like, not only law of attraction, but also law of attraction. Like, you keep attracting
exactly.
it.
It works on both ends of the scale.
Yeah.
For real. If you attract the bad parts, you're going to get the bad parts. If you're always talking about how your life sucks and you're not confident, you're going to get the non-confident parts of that as well, which turns out to be in relationships. It turns to be in friendships, everything.
Facts. So have you ever heard, I think it was Ed Sheeran, how he talked about how when he was younger, he couldn't sing?
Wow. Yeah.
You've seen that?
I haven't.
And ever since I heard
it just reminded
him,
me of someone else talking about how,
they can't sing.
Well, they
like
couldn't
squirrel.
sing as a kid, or like their parents said they couldn't sing, and it's just like you gotta break past that.
Yeah. So I felt like that. I think I manifested. I was almost gonna say manifested and create a word with Spanish. I don't know. That was weird. That was a bilingual moment right there. So I think I manifested that also because I heard him say it, and I was like, how did he like not sing? And he recorded it, like I think it was on like the some like talk show, Jay Leno show or something like that. I can't remember, but he literally like popped out the recording and he's like, this was me, and they're like, shut up, that is not you, that person sucks. And like, it was me. And he just ended up learning how to sing.
It's just believing in yourself and never stopping.
Yes.
It's like,
and it's like crazy because like I used to hear myself sing when I was younger because I would hear recordings. Not only was it bad quality back in the day, but like, and I'd be like, oh, like that sounds so bad. And then I just stopped telling myself that. And I was like, no.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And it was that whole part of like, well, I'm on the right path. I'm still singing. I'm learning. A lot of people are like, oh, you win or lose. But it's like you win or learn.
Yeah, I love
it's
that.
Like you straight up, what did I do different? What can I do different to push myself towards the goal that I want? I mean, when you look at it like you're losing, you're not gonna learn shit from it.
Oh my gosh!
It's
Say it
all
again.
that perspective. Yeah.
Say it again. What was that? What was that?
If you yeah, I already lost it. That's how my brain works for real. It's just like, oh, here. Throw it out. I swear to God.
Was it you win or you learn?
Yeah, you win or you learn. Right. There's no losing, because you look at it losing. It's all that perspective. Like that's how you're losing then.
Oh,
you're
love
losing.
that.
What are you getting from that?
That needs to be on some merch.
Yeah,
that's a hit right there.
You learn.
You win and you learn. Or like Tone likes to say, you take the L, but you make it to a lesson, not a loss.
The
You
L is a
live and
lesson,
you learn.
right? Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much,
Yeah,
man.
that's so true.
I just started thinking about all the possibilities. You just with like, when we're feeling down and stuff. Not only do you have to listen to DStreet's new album, PHX.
To CID. Yeah.
Shout out
That's a good
to,
one.
back there in the little corner. But, listen, just thinking of that when we're down and stuff is like, you got to think about the bigger perspective, which is another reason we could even get on that topic. I remember me and you in the studio, we were talking about like not only the dating life in freaking this, industry, but also about like being poly and stuff. So what I think about when I do come across situations, but it happens more in polyamory, is like I think about the bigger perspective of what I want to build an empire rather than just how I'm feeling right now in the moment. Because right now I had a bad day. That's why I'm reacting the way I'm reacting. Right. But it happens in life. But that's why I say like in polyamory, it just hits harder and you actually kind of become stronger in life too with that. But how is the dating life?
Dating life's good now. I actually just started dating someone as of yesterday. So.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Just put it on Facebook official, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shoot. Everybody's going to go check right now. Who is this? I have an idea, but I'll go check Facebook.
You're probably right.
Maybe.
You've met her.
We seen her recently?
Yes.
Shout out to that. She's dope.
Yeah, she's dope.
I can see the resemblance. Girl, I see you. For real. I think, do I have that button? I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, you actually have
no.
Letters on it?
Nope, wrong one. Well, guess what that one is?
Oh my God.
Motorboat.
Oh.
For real. Oh my gosh, he's imagining it over here.
Just imagine someone just going like this with their lips, like twiddling their lips back and forth.
Oh my goodness, I thought about the cartoon that's like, oh my gosh. But do you feel like it's difficult?
But I would say, yeah, dating in general, especially for the most of my life, was definitely a struggle. Yeah. There's things that I've said this in an interview with Riley before. There's things you have to say out loud. You don't even know if that's exactly the way that you feel, but like I also have ADHD, so I process things out loud. Like I'll say a question. I'm not even asking you a question. Please don't answer it. You know what I mean? Like
it's rhetorical.
Like, I'm just saying it out loud. I'm thinking out loud. And I just need to know if that's how I feel. Sometimes the words, the vibration of the words, I don't know what it is. Like we were saying,
right.
But like the feeling of those words coming out. There's something about saying it versus writing it down or thinking it.
True.
But honestly, I'd say writing it down works just as well as saying it for me.
Mm-hmm. Because then you can burn it.
Yes, exactly. Right.
And that's a really good like releasing ritual too, if anybody's
I have
asking.
heard about that, yeah.
Like good for the full moon or just whenever you're really feeling overwhelmed or overstressed with emotions, write it down. And shoot, maybe you can make a song.
Yeah, no
I
joke,
don't know.
right? Maybe you will.
But that's something so dope. So do you feel like with that in, I guess dating personally, you were saying, you feel like you would have to necessarily have a partner who is able just to hear you out.
Yes.
And give you that space.
Yeah. Understanding. Yeah. I think that's.
And the lifestyle too.
Yeah. And the lifestyle. Granted, there's obviously other shit that I was doing back in the day too that, probably pushed certain relationships either away or pushed them down the path that they were or invited me to be around certain people.
That
probably
true.
weren't the best for me, but life choices, you learn from them.
So if it's this person that I'm thinking, I think that you guys might align in this way because it sounds like she's kind of in the same type of industry, but in a different like area.
Yeah.
And so you guys would be more understanding of like, at least like being less jealous because you're like, oh, well, you guys are working. Like it's all gravy. It's all Gucci.
I think we've both been really good at setting boundaries too.
Ooh, that's
which is
it right
so
there.
I think
Yes.
that's probably what's been a struggle in a lot of my old relationships was setting boundaries.
Yes.
Holy shit, I just let people walk all over me.
Same.
And it sucks, you know what I mean? But when you're able to take yourself first and someone respects that feels right,
Yes. Going back to it feels right. Let's get it for real. No, for real, man. I've been trying to it's hard to set boundaries because it's like, especially being somebody who doesn't want to upset other people.
Yes, and it's like you're constantly walking on eggshells. Like at some point, those eggshells are going to be so walked over, they're literally flat on the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What do you do then? You
For
blow
real.
up? You
That's
know what I mean?
right there. I blow up. I'm one of those that holds
you
everything.
bottle it in, and then all of a sudden it's just too much. And it's like, well, if I had just, and then people look at you like, bro, it wasn't that serious. Why are you mad? It's like,
right.
fuck, I held this in for 2.5 fucking years. Like, It's not healthy.
Yeah, and it's only
not
our
healthy.
fault
Yeah.
that we're not setting those
Exactly.
boundaries. But also, I'm 28, almost 29 next month, and I'm just learning what I don't like and what I can say no to.
Yeah.
Like,
No feels
What?
strong, you know. No is a powerful word. It should be your best friend. You know what
for
I mean?
real.
Like,
Yeah.
set your boundaries and set them often and early.
Yeah.
You know,
So, like, as a
then
parent,
you attract the right people around you as well.
yeah. And I think too, in religion, we're not really taught that because we're usually have to just obey, even if we don't like something.
Right.
So then it's kind of hard, or you have to like have a testimony that you have to uphold. So it's never really like what you want or how you feel. You kind of just always have to make other people happy. So then as an adult,
Yeah.
It's-
Imagine what that does when 18 years of your life, you're just people pleasing everyone else and just doing what you thought they wanted
yeah,
until you come to that conclusion and it just bottles over and they're like, oh, you don't believe in this? You don't?
right. Or like,
yeah,
that's not
it's
really
a
what
big-
you want. It's like, no, it's
Or
actually
it just made it easier to follow your parents. Like, it was definitely easier to listen to what my parents said than to argue them, right?
good
Like,
kids.
Yeah, like, I don't want my phone taken away. I didn't want to
Right.
be grounded from everything. I'm good. I'm gonna listen to what you guys say until I'm able to do something about it myself.
Right. And that's the tough part. Me as a parent, I'm trying to instill like the kids having boundaries now.
Yeah, communication,
Yes.
right?
And like
healthy communication.
for real, and we say that all the time. And I like, even when they're like play fighting, I'll be like, you hear how they're screaming? They are no longer having fun. You need to stop if they're saying stop.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
you know,
for
when we're kids, it's like we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody has to tell you. So I'll be like, okay, it was funny. Even getting tickled, you know.
Yeah.
There's a point where you're
100%.
like,
It's like, this is too
I
much.
can't take it.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
and then they might ask for more, but it's like, okay, you can ask for more later when you're already like, you got your breath, you
Yeah,
know,
for
like you're not spasming no more.
Punches someone accidentally, right?
For real. And it's just like those things. But it's crazy because I feel like our generation. Wait, how old are you?
I am 28 as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we are the same
1995.
generation. Hey,
Pisces.
shout out. Let's go. Oh, but you're
yeah.
a Pisces. So you're
But I was
a
6
few
weeks
months-
early, so I was supposed to be like
like a Taurus, I think
I
is
think
next.
it's a Taurus.
Oh, wait.
It's one after that. So I think it's Pisces, Aries, Taurus. I'm not 100% sure. Truthfully.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I think Aries.
yeah, I know it's skips over one and then goes to the next.
Yeah, something like that.
I was supposed to be
that's
born like
crazy.
April 29th, something like that. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So you're like one of the earlier Aries. So what's crazy is I don't get along with Pisces women, but I get along with Pisces men. Like crazy. Like I know so much Pisces actually in the industry.
really. Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like at least from what they say, Pisces are super emotional. I really don't know enough about it.
It's a water
but
sign, so water signifies
flowing.
in emotions.
Right. Okay.
So like if you ever have a dream and there's like water in your dream or like you feel like you're drowning, it's because you're drowning in your own emotions.
Wow. Okay.
Water's all emotions. I also know how to define dreams. So if you
Okay.
ever have a crazy dream, just be like, Chapis,
I
come
definitely
here.
had a dream recently that was about a I was like walking through these woods and there was this like I could tell it was a tarantula, right? Like but it was like in this encasing and it was a brown tarantula and then it just like I just see it like fidgeting in like all the fallen leaves and stuff like that and just like crawling peacefully out the back.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, and that was like the whole dream, but I just remember that.
Wow,
And
that's
like I
so
kind of
beautiful.
tried to look it up and like what it means, and it's supposed to be like a transformation of some sorts and stuff like that. But I don't know.
The way that I just envisioned it right now was that like the tarantula. How do you say
Tarantula,
that?
yeah.
Tarantula.
Tarantula, yeah.
Tarantula.
Tarantula, yeah. Yeah, it's a long word.
So, like, I'm just thinking over here, like, not only am I bilingual, but I got this freaking
Yep.
tongue piercing. It'll stop my. Yeah, it's snake eyes.
Snake eyes, okay. Yeah, because snake bites are like right here, right?
Yeah, they're the lip ones.
Okay.
So the way I envisioned this dream is that, like, I envisioned the tarantula. Did I say it right? Is like you, because you have brown hair.
Okay.
And you're over here. You
Interesting.
felt encaged. You felt encaged. And then, so the fact that you see yourself as a
But I'm seeing it from like
Can't
a
say it.
person's point of
Spider.
view too. Yeah, as a spider, right?
Yeah, so you're seeing yourself out of yourself, like an out of body experience, but you're dreaming. And so you see yourself as something that's like powerful, because I think spiders are like
for sure.
tiny,
Most definitely.
dainty, but powerful.
Yeah.
And so you felt encaged, you felt bottled in, but you're also becoming free.
See,
And
that was pretty much what the
That's crazy.
Dream Journal said too. Is something about like moving on.
And the fact that
And,
you're
like,
in
getting
the
over
woods,
those old emotions and stuff like that, and all the stuff that was holding you back. Right, it was in an encasing,
Yeah.
it was getting hashed, but it was a full tarantula. So
that's
Yeah.
wild. And you're like, I might be dainty and soft, but watch me.
almost like a chrysalis, but larger. You know, like a chrysalis is like what a butterfly comes from.
Oh.
Yeah, almost like that. Yeah, so that was definitely the vibe for sure. So
That is so dope. Shout out to NC Wave. I thought about his song Tarantula.
I did too when I said that shit. That is a dope song. If you guys haven't heard it, you should definitely peep his song out. Like,
for real.
he performed at the last show that we were at the CSPS hall. That shit was stuck in my head for like 3 days.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. I
ain't got no time. That's why he was killing that shit.
I love that when songs can get stuck in your head, like your songs.
We pause. I gotta use the restroom. Oh, I gotta pee so bad.
So, guys, he's gonna have a little potty break, because that's what I say. I'm a mom, you know what I mean? And as we're waiting, I am gonna put you guys on pause real quick and find out how to share this live. Okay, guys. So I barely got into, I don't know, YouTube was acting crazy, and right now I have it on the whatchamacallit. But I see all your guys' comments now. So let me get, okay, there you go. There's my face. Okay, so we have sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name so bad. I am so sorry. Big hello from Blanca. Love you, Dan. He really deserves to be on all billboards. Doesn't he? Doesn't he, guys? Like, I'm telling you, I'm not just being nice. I'm being for real. And shout out to you, Tone. Some of my favorite people. And my sister. What's up? Courtney, I see you. I love the talk support. It's so important to give all feedback, positive and negative, to help someone improve. It's amazing to me looking back at all of the restrictions you had as a child. So I'm finally being able to see the comments.
Ooh, okay.
YouTube is allowing me to view things. He is back, guys. Say hello.
That was so cheesy.
And so one of your friends, Amarani.
Yes, Amarani. Yes.
Amarani.
Blanca.
Yes, she said, big hello from Blanca. Love you, Dan. He really deserves to be on all billboards.
Hell yeah.
On billboards, the actual brand.
Yeah, she's always been supporting, for real. Thank you for that. I'm actually going to see them all when I get to Denver. I'm going to do a show in in March around my birthday. I want to get a group of us going up, but I'm going to get my homie from Phoenix who got signed to Fervor Records. Shout out Chino, Alec.
Ooh.
That's my boy. He was in GVT with me, and then Calvary, who's my homie that's left the voicemail, all that stuff. So they're both going to be performing. So
that's so
we're doing our own thing out
dope.
there. So that's going to be pretty cool.
And Tone says, hey, some of my favorite people. My sister
Hey, what
says.
up, Tone?
My
Tone's
sister says,
always been
hey.
a help. Oh my god.
Yeah. Shout out to Tone for real,
real.
man.
Man, he was like the first person that put me back on a show when I got back here, and that's where I met Bukilo. That's where I met all those guys. Like,
That's what's
yeah,
up.
that's the first time I met Classic too. Shouts out Classic, dude. It's so dope.
Yes.
Raw
Shout out to
lyricist.
Classic. He's doing big things, man.
He's doing big things. He's doing South by Southwest here.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. He
yeah.
just got like a free performance slot. God damn.
Right. It's crazy. And I think there was a competition. I think that's what it sounded like. And he like got it. That's what's up. And then Courtney says, I love talk about support. It's so important to give all feedback, positive and negative, to help someone improve.
Most definitely.
It's amazing to me looking back at all the restrictions you had as a child and how weird I thought it was, but it truly did shape you differently and make you more rebellious at the time.
You know,
You gotta go through it, you know.
For real.
And I'm amazed at how freely it makes your mind later in life. That's so true. Man, that's literally what we were talking about, is like you have to have the balance of freedom and rules so that way we can make our own decisions.
And those rules have to be for the right reason too.
Right.
Because ultimately
grow.
we're going to decide what's right for us and what's wrong for us. And if it doesn't feel right for us, that's ultimately the basis behind it.
Yeah, and then more probability you're going to rebel.
Right, yeah. Be like, this is wrong. Even if it's not wrong.
Why can't I do it?
Yeah,
You know?
for real.
Like
You're not going to tell me I can't. Yeah.
I'm going to do it anyway. That's how us, when we're kids, that's how we think.
Yeah.
C note said, "Ay." And then Courtney said again, vulnerability truly shows strength. So true. We have a really good live. Shout out to you.
It doesn't feel like that sometimes, though. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just feels like weakness. Yeah.
It does.
But when it's you deciding how that vulnerability comes out, I think that's what feels strong.
Yep.
Yeah. You're in control of it. And I think that's what everyone wants, is control of their own life.
Literally. Yeah. And that's hard because sometimes even the emotions are
100%.
uncontrollable.
There's certain things I can't talk about. I just get too choked up. I'll be like, no, I'm good. Never mind. maybe next year.
Right. But that's like perfectly fine. And being able to have that outlet whenever you want and whenever you feel comfortable. Kobe Reese said, "Was good, DStreet fire."
Hell yeah. So was Kobe. Oh my God. He performed at a wedding I was at. And I'm not even kidding. He had the whole wedding just,
Dang.
Hey, we were going around. I swear to God, he was killing it. Like, it was one of my favorite live performances I've ever seen. Yeah. For sure.
Lim says, you and Classic need a song together.
Yeah, you ain't lying. That would be one of the most lyrical songs to come out of Iowa, for sure. Let's get it. Let's get
for real. You know who that is?
Let's get it. Sounds like
Let's get it.
Michelle. No?
Let's get it.
An artist.
Let's get it.
Drea. That's
Yeah.
Drea. Hold on. Yeah, that's Drea.
Like, of course it is.
Let's get it.
Courtney says, no, that was, I can't say her name.
Amarani.
Amarani.
Blanca.
Blanca. She's Hispanic. Hurtado.
I do believe.
Yeah.
I do believe.
I know that last name. She said, win or learn. I love that. And she said, my next tattoo. Wait, was that to me? Because I do tattoos.
She does actually do tattoos.
I just haven't in a minute. And then Courtney said, Chapis, I swear I've always thought your voice was glorious. Those old, I don't cuss, Snapchat days. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, about singing. I think that's what she's talking about. See, even when people told me I couldn't sing, I could sing, I was like, guys, you were lying. Because I hear myself.
I see.
I don't like it. I don't like what I'm hearing. So until I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, I started karaoke where I used to work. And I even thought, my mom's always told me I could sing. But I'm like, you're my mom. You're supposed to say that.
I remember where I first met you, actually.
Where?
Just because of that. So I did a live show at Unimpaired, and it was the worst live performance I've ever done. I was so embarrassed of myself after that shit, for real. Like, it was so cringe. Like, it was just the setup of the sound there. Like, it was just like,
oh yeah.
And I didn't have any backing vocals. I just did that, and it was the wrong decision, let me tell you. And I was just like, this is not who I am as an artist. You know what I mean? But that was the first time I met you. I was like, damn. And she's like, nice to meet you. Yeah, you were working.
I remember.
Yeah. That's where I met you. I remember that.
I couldn't pinpoint.
How did I forget that shit?
That's crazy. I forgot it because I was so busy, but I met so much people that night.
Yeah,
but
for real.
I kept trying to remember who was the person with Boo.
kicking
And it
back
was
the competition
you.
or something like that. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Beat the Competition.
Beat
They're
the competition. Yes, Kansas. Yeah,
I was gonna say Kansas City.
Kansas City. That's hilarious. You hit that.
Where did I get this accent from?
Oh, that was pretty.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm Mexican. Oh my gosh. See how random I am too. Grace Kim says,
Grace,
whoop, whoop.
what up? We play Fortnite together.
Xavier Koch.
Zay Coke. Yeah.
Oh, my
Zay
bad.
what up?
My bad.
Oh yeah.
He said, in digital age where attention spans are fleeting, how do you plan to create music that resonates deeply and withstands the test of time?
I'm gonna have you repeat that question. I just gotta point out he probably used AI to do that question. I'm
You
not even
think
kidding.
so?
Yeah, I mean he probably used Chat GPT to type that whole
I know,
question.
it sounds so
I swear
good.
to God, do it one more time for me. God damn it, Zay.
Not only my voice, right?
I love it.
In a digital age where attention
Pinky
spans
up.
are fleeting. Oh,
Yeah, pinkies up.
wrong way. How do you plan to create music that resonates deeply and withstands the test of time?
Wow, you said that like so professional. It's like I want to answer professional, but it's going to come out like this. So, keeping genuine to me, and actually like being present. You know, I think being present with everything that's going around me is going to help me stay, one, genuine, but two, genuine. I guess that's the
Always
word, yeah.
modern, always with the ish.
Yeah, always with
the
ish,
kids.
because you know, I don't really talk about like what's going on today topics. I really talk about like feelings that we have, and everyone has feelings.
True.
You can't lie that you don't get those same feelings. Like it's just like,
True.
and that's like my music is like
Words
broad
that
enough
she
that
said.
exactly, you can relate to it. Like
For real. And me too, I can relate to it even more because I'm thinking about she too,
Right.
not he.
yeah, right. See, yeah, it resonates.
And I'm like, bro, I feel you because these girls out
Yeah, these
here,
snake
bro.
rats. I swear.
My mom says fire.
Hey.
Morgan
Meliker?
Meliker.
Yes, old roommate.
She
Shouts
said-
out. I was best man at their wedding. Hell yeah. Love them. Blake and Morgan. Oh yeah. Blake and Morgan, love you guys. I was so far back.
Say that again. Say it one more time for the people.
Yeah, Blake and Morgan, yeah, I was at their I was the best man at their wedding.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
actually wrote them a song, so that song called Won't Be Long, I performed at their wedding.
Can you give us a little snippet?
I tell my mama and my father I ain't coming home. They're gonna love that shit. No more. You can look up the song.
That's enough. That's
so this is
enough.
the first song I'd ever done like a country style on. Like I
That's
remember
so
sitting in my
dope.
room with my friend Casey, and he was just playing beats that didn't have like bass to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then one sounded super country, and I was like, "Oh, bro, I could write a country banger to that."
Hey!
And like I wrote that first line that tell my mom and my dad I ain't coming home. And then Casey like turned to me and he's like, "Are you writing something for Blake and Morgan's wedding?" And I like sat there and I was like, "You know, I actually could. Like I actually could." And so I wrote the first verse and then I sent it to Blake and he was crying and I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna do something."
I feel the feels
Yeah.
right now. I just started, I don't even know who these people are, but I just started thinking of like a wedding and just hearing that.
It was lovely. Yeah. I was so nervous doing that song. I probably forgot half the lyrics, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I played it off like, "Oh, I'm so emotional right now, bro."
There you go. It
Oh my
works. Who do you know, Mom? She said, I knew him. Unless she's saying she knows you. That's crazy if my mom knows you.
Hey.
That's wild. Unless it's, I don't know, because my mom also likes to follow like everybody that I put out there too.
That's cool. Okay.
Courtney said, I hate a time Dan told me he thought he couldn't sing, but only rap. Honestly, always loved that voice and the feelings behind it. That's so true. Goes down to like we're our worst critics though.
Yeah,
We hear
biggest
our
critic
voice.
got me thinking I'm going insane. Sorry, I missed your call.
Did you,
Yeah.
for real? See, he's like, listen to me,
That's
listen
for
to me.
sure.
I'll say something.
Yeah.
But like, even some people hate hearing their voice.
Yeah.
Like
so actually,
recorded.
that's interesting. I used to not think my voice was in tune for the longest time because it didn't sound like theirs. But
Right.
then I came to this conclusion that was like everyone's voice. I am in tune. I'm just in my own. Like this is
Tune,
how my voice sounds. So I better start liking it.
Didn't I
Well,
just
you know
say
what I mean?
that?
Yeah, it's
At the
just-
music video. I was
Yeah.
like,
everyone can sing. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
but different styles.
yeah,
I was like, especially
and
with
you have to find the style that works for you.
for
Like,
real.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until
Mm-hmm.
I realized that.
Once I started embracing my style, that's when I think I
Yes.
started doing a lot better.
Or people told me who I sound like, and I was like, oh, that's probably why I always thought that they couldn't sing because they sound like me.
Oh, I see. That's hilarious.
And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But then it started making me think like, oh, that's kind of true. I could always sing those artist songs a little better because of my voice style. And the voices that I like
Yeah.
aren't my voice.
Right, exactly. Like some artists are just very raspy. And I mean, I'm very raspy. So those ones I can
Exactly.
really sing.
Yeah.
R&B songs I can usually really sing, like Usher's You Remind Me. Ooh, that's my
You
shit.
remind
That's
me
my-
of a girl. How does it go? How does it go?
I once knew. I swear, that's my jam. Oh my god.
See your face whenever I look at you.
Wouldn't believe all of the. No. I swear.
Hey, it's not copyright because we ain't playing the song.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Remix.
Okay. And she said, wait, hold on. What did my mom say? Morgan Keller said, sorry, I put her name all in one.
Melliker.
Melliker. Love you, bestie.
Hey.
My mom's asking if you're from Kansas.
No, I was born in Idaho, actually.
That's
I moved
crazy.
to Iowa when I was 5 years old. It's funny because we moved here based on a show of apparently my parents said a prayer one time to ask where they should go next, in life, and then they were watching Wheel of Fortune, and the thing said place, right, and it was Iowa City, Iowa.
Shout
And so
out
my
to
dad took that as a sign, as like this is where we need to move.
and it is a sign because
And
look
it
at
is a sign, 'cause
you.
look at us now. You know what I mean? We're doing
Wow.
something. Yeah, I wouldn't be here doing this interview if it wasn't for that.
Wheel
I
of
wouldn't-
Fortune.
Probably wouldn't have all the same music connections I had. Who knows if I'd. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune.
Oh my gosh, I just thought about it. I don't know if you do tarot. Have you heard of
Oh,
tarot?
the tarot cards?
Uh-huh.
Okay, it's called tarot, so the T is silent.
Yeah.
Okay. I've always called it tarot.
I know.
Tarot like
same.
carrot.
Sometimes it'd be like that. So the Wheel of Fortune actually defines a lot of what you just said, like your life expectancy and like destiny and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. And for the fact that your parents are religious and they listen to Wheel of Fortune,
Yeah, they used to watch that all the time. So that's kind of crazy to me. Like, yeah, they took
That's
that
wild.
as an answer to their prayers.
that's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Like every decision you make brings you to the place that you're at too. Like,
Yeah.
it could be something like that could have meant nothing,
Yeah.
But it could have meant a lot, and it did.
And it is.
And it is, yeah.
Wow. No, for real. That's so crazy. Courtney says Dan truly brings so much to the table with his upbringing, situations he's been through, the struggle of following his dreams, and the constant doubt he's had for himself. I know I'm proud, but I want to know if he's feeling proud of himself. Where else do you want to go with your career? Ooh,
Okay.
ooh.
Yeah, I would say I'm proud of myself now for sure. When I heard PHX to CID for the first time, that was like the first time in my car. I said I was proud of myself out loud, like in tears. Like I did that.
Oh, man, for real.
I know I'm supposed to be making music. I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
The minions.
Yeah. Oh god.
Cheering you on.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Yeah, right. Like I've always known music's what I want to do. Now where am I going with that? I just want to reach more people. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to bring my music out so more people can hear it and more people can vibe with me. But I want to build to the point where that's possible, and I don't want to like get worried about it happening next year or something like that. I just want to keep grinding and doing me and have the people that like me catch on to that, because I'm not switching up what I'm doing for anybody.
Yes.
Like, that's not.
Yes, for real.
I've never vibed with doing what other people want me to do.
You're not an NPC, that's for sure.
I'm not an NPC, that's for sure.
You're not
I ask
one
too
of
many
those.
questions.
I don't just go with the flow of everything, but I go with my own flow. Hey, and you
Yes.
make a flow.
And I make a flow. Trying to make a
Damn.
flow.
Trying to make a flow that moves to my path. Hey, I'm around you guys a lot. I can't rap, but I can give a little 2 cents here and there. So, how far until you feel like you've made it? Ooh, that's a good question.
My homie just called. I'm just showing him I'm doing the podcast.
Hey,
Hey,
shout
Kyle,
out to
just
homie.
watch the podcast on Facebook. For real. You should see it on my profile.
And
Yes, sir. Hey, shout out Kyle. That's my day one homie for real. We used to work
Day
together at Fairway
ones.
and stuff. Oh, crazy times.
I love that.
Day one for real. Hey, yo, I'm a deuce though.
So, let me go back to the comments. Where were we? I got out of it because I started sharing it. So, I think that's a really good one for like how far until you feel like you've made it. For me, I know you didn't ask me, but I feel like on the general aspect, I feel like a lot of artists that I've even spoken with already feel like there's never going to be like an end.
Yeah. I think there's no end. I think there's always going to be something I can talk about. Now, when you like break it down, like mainstream artists, they kind of get to that point where they're just not relevant anymore. But that's not the goal for me. Is staying relevant. It's to be me and have people catch on to that.
Oh,
so
I love that.
don't think that's something that's ever going to change. So whether it be music, whether it be a different creative outlet, I'm always going to be doing me and trying to get people to catch on to that. So
Man.
I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I stop that.
Being me.
Yeah, stop being
you.
me. Facts, yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's really good advice for even me that does content. And like I said, I put go get motivated with me because it's about me and my experience to show you to like maybe I could inspire you through me and whatever I do. And that's exactly what you're saying. So exactly what you said is
by genuinely being yourself.
Yes.
There's people that are going to catch on to it, and those are the people that you want around you in the first place. And
those are your supporters.
Those are your supporters. Yeah, that love you for you, aren't trying to change you, aren't trying to make you do something different.
Right.
They just accept you for all your flaws as well as all the good things that you got going on.
Right. Man, that's deep, for real. That's why you guys gotta listen to this fool. I'm for real. And when I say fool, I'm not saying he's a fool like he's dumb. I'm saying fool because, I'm a Chicana, what's up, fool? Just throwing it out there. And so your friend Xavier, it said, in a genre, I always have to say this proper.
You have to with this. He knows what he's doing. I know I can see his smile right now. He's cheesing so hard, probably laughing on 3 different screens. Like,
oh my gosh, he's a gamer.
Yeah, but he watches football and he's got baseball running and everything. Like
he got ADHD for real.
Shit. He just wants to be well informed.
Yeah, same. Same.
Yeah.
So he said, in a genre often influenced by personal experiences, what aspects of your life or journey do you feel most compelled to share through your lyrics?
Religion has always been a thing. Not really like a faith, really. Not religion as much as like the faith of needing that faith in yourself. Because, if I didn't have this faith in myself, I don't think I'd be where I'm at with music. But also, I don't think I'd be at where I'm at in life either. Had I just been leaning into someone else's understanding, how much of that would have done something for me?
Right. Because that's what there's actually let me see if I can remember. Haven't read the Bible in like 5-6 years, but I know it in Spanish and English, and that's what kind of trips me up. But it says, lean not to your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with thy thine heart.
Yeah.
Trust in the Lord with thy thine heart. Lean not unto your own understanding. And in Spanish is, maybe I don't know it. But yeah, so not leaning into just another's understanding is making your own understanding and becoming stronger is what I understood.
Okay. Yeah.
Like from what you said, going
yes.
against it, I guess.
Yeah.
Going against the grain.
What was the other part of that question that he had?
It was, let me find it.
What
So in a genre often influenced by musical experience, what aspects of your life or journey do you feel most compelled to share through your lyrics?
Yeah. So the faith in yourself is probably like an underlying underlying part of
everything?
my music. Yeah, I'm also an overthinker, so you definitely see that in my music a lot. Is probably being a little too harsh on myself.
Right.
But I don't think that's something that's going to be an underlying thing for so long. I think it's just part of the journey. So it's nice to take account of where I'm at and look back at it and be like, wow, even that I was able to make into something
Positive,
art.
big.
More, better than the situation felt.
For real.
Yeah.
Embracing those down moments, embracing that to make something of it.
Yes.
And you do. You make
Yeah.
music of it, which is
Yes.
so dope.
I think another underlying issue is just figuring out the world around me. Like, not issue, I guess, as much as just topic that's going to be prevalent in my music for a long time is trying to understand the world around me.
Right.
And that's, that probably comes from childhood, not, being told to believe, being told to have
Right.
faith and never knowing. So it's like, I'm still trying to know. I still have this doubt of everything around me. And it's like, I'm trying to break past that, but it's...
To balance
Yes.
knowledge or at least visual knowledge, factual knowledge, which still kind of leads to theories if you really want to get think
Right,
about it.
right,
Because
exactly.
what if you see the color green and I actually see the color purple?
exactly.
But we call it the same thing because that's what we've been taught is
That's
the
what we've been
same.
taught, right. That's so true.
Comment down below. Did I just hurt a brain vessel?
He definitely just hurt one of mine. So damn it, I'm gonna have to think about that later tonight.
Like, damn, so we actually could be seeing different colors. Just like
Yeah, yeah.
languages.
Exactly.
We hear them differently, so we can't understand other people, but it means the same thing. Well, I guess that's the opposite of what I said, but it's the same kind of form. So we have Courtney. She says, when are you taking Lakin on tour?
So Courtney told me that her daughter knows all my music.
Oh,
So that's
that is
pretty
so
cool.
cute.
Yeah. That's
What is she, 10 now?
Truth be told, I'm not 100% sure. I want to say
Maybe 9, 10.
probably 8.
Something. How old is she? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 8.
She says, thank God you ended up in Iowa. Such an impact on my life. Swear you'll be forever bond. I've never met someone who has changed my life in the way you have. You're an amazing person and friend. Oh, tears.
Feels good.
Oh, that's so dope. See, she's supporting with just
Yes,
even those
most
words.
Exactly. Like a lot of times it doesn't have to come through music or like a musical buddy reposting your stuff, but just positive words
Right.
and a positive impact.
Right.
And just not wanting you to change, just wanting you to be you.
Yes, I agree. So Courtney also says, what song do you think took the most weight off your chest? Ooh.
This song, I could answer this almost right away. As of late, when my parents got a divorce in 2015, that was it was probably the first song where I actually felt like I wrote a full song, but then two, just the subject matter. And there was this one part where it's my dad asking, I exaggerate the moment, but it's my dad asking if my mom cheats and then she hangs up the phone, which is not what happened. Right. But that moment right there, the feeling behind that is the feeling that was there was just you just got hung up on. You were asking a serious question, just got hung up on. And that
is deep.
Yeah. It lifted
That's
a lot of weight off
deep.
my shoulders, just helping me understand, who their parents are just kids with responsibilities, we're the same fucking people. They just have to step up at the end of the day.
Still figuring it out in adulthood.
They're still figuring it out. And that's something that, I used to just follow every single word of theirs and then just realizing they're just like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That helped me be
Like,
a
that's
little
why
more
they don't
understanding
know.
of them too. And that's, it was just
Right. Man. Oh, she says she's 8. I knew it. I knew
Yeah,
it
I
was
was gonna
something
say.
I said 10. I'm saying I knew it.
2015, something like that. Right.
She's 15. I'm just kidding. We're
Jesus
going.
Christ.
You're way off.
You've had a kid since you were 13? No,
Right.
that's fine.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes. Not judging. Life happens. I had my son when I was 17. So another one question I had that kind of goes with this, and we could wrap it up here soon, is what do you see? What's your ultimate goal with this? But not only this, but what do you want to be? How would you want to be remembered? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
I want to I do want to leave behind a legacy. I want to leave behind something that's like, holy shit, this person changed the world. I want to leave behind something where no one can doubt that I did something good. And not even me, because I think that's probably the biggest critic right there is me saying I didn't do enough. You know what I mean? I want to be able to help people in so many more ways than just music. But I enjoy the feeling that I get back when people can relate to my music in their own certain ways. And it doesn't even mean anything like I wrote it, but for some reason it still vibes with them.
Interpreted in their whatever they're feeling in that moment.
Yeah, I want to leave a lasting mark on this world. Like one where it's like, you inherently were good. You inherently were yeah, we all make mistakes, but we all make mistakes, but I want to push to that point where it's like, you could tell I was going down the right path. Like
through your mistakes, you still had an intention.
And show you the beauty of being able to make mistakes and that it's not the end of the world.
That's true. That's such a good one. I like that. So,
but I literally want to make so much money that I can help so many people around me, create a whole community, all that shit. Like, and I hate that money is so damn important in this world, but I'm going to play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to do what I have to do to make everyone around me good. I don't want to see anyone struggle. I had to struggle so much growing up, just as much as everyone around me had to struggle. And it's just, if I can help that's the main goal in life, really. Yeah,
you're like,
and to have fun and to love what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, most definitely.
So you want to inspire people through you as well.
Yes, I want to be able to. I want to inspire people. Yeah,
that's so dope. You're like, you got it.
You're right.
So like, you want to inspire people through not only your music, they can interpret it, heal them in the way that it does, how they interpret it, and then with that, also with your own personal journey, attaining being able to live off of your lifestyle and help others.
And create like a larger understanding of who I am as a person, ultimately.
That it can also flow to help somebody figure out who they are.
Or be this beacon of strength for everyone else around me, because I know how hard it is. And I know sometimes you just can't lean into yourself.
Yeah.
But like,
lean into PHX. /CID.
Yeah, it's very hard to have yourself sometimes, but it's nice to have a support system.
Yes, and if you don't,
it's nice to know that someone is giving you the right advice and not trying to screw you over. And I'm not saying that that's me, but like inherently, that's kind of what I want to do. Is like know that I'm a place that you can turn.
Yes, and a lot of people do turn to music like that. Some people say like Juice WRLD, I think a lot of their fans said that when I felt like I had nobody else, I would put an album on. Your favorite artist, and you feel like
Juice.
They're there, they're there with you because they're going through it.
I think that was the first artist I ever really vibe with was Kid Cudi for that main reason. I just remember being on a trip with family going to Utah, and I just put that in. It'd be an hour. You didn't have to hear anything. You just tune everything out, and that's such a good feeling to be able to do that. Just know that that's like a safe haven. Your music, it's just this place you can be and. Yeah,
and that's what
not
you're
think
doing.
About anything going on, just that. It's concentrated stress in a sense. It's just like you're stressed about that. You can't think about anything else. That's a good feeling.
And I feel like you are already doing that, especially with this album that you won the award for at the IMAs.
Let's get it.
That's what you're doing, and DStreet is someone you guys can turn to when you listen to his music. Because who knows? He might get too big that you can't reach out to him directly, but who knows? You never know. Throw a DM out there. I don't know.
Yeah, DM out there.
If you're welcoming.
If you're welcoming. if our spirits align. Right?
There you go. You heard it here on Chopping It Up with Chapis. Thank you everyone that came to the show.
Thank you so much, everybody. Everyone that tuned in for the live, for real. I'm Ronnie, Courtney, Hannah. I know you were there as well.
So how
Morgan,
can they find you?
Blake, and everyone that was on this live stream. Thank you for real, Grace. Zay. But if you're trying to find me, DStreetMC.com, or you could look up DStreetMC.com, or you can find me on Instagram at DStreetMC. I'm on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify. I'm on all
platforms.
of it. All streaming platforms.
Right? All streaming platforms.
For real.
Let's get it. Thank you. DStreet,
you.
for coming out here and having fun chopping it up with me. Chopping it up with who? Chopping it up with you. Woo, let's go.